Welcome back. On today's episode, Erwin believes that everything is sacred geometry. Let's get straight into things. We're going back to Merkabahs. I discussed Merkabah from the Old Testament. Fun little Ezekiel vision. Wheels within wheels. Animal heads and wings. That stuff, I don't know what's going on there. I know what's going on here, though. So, Merkabah, generally seen as a pyramid with an upside down pyramid fused together. Yeah, it's kind of hard to think of. Let's see, let's get a bigger one. Okay, yeah, there you go. There we go. A star tetrahedron is what it's referred to. Whew, boy. That shape right there, that shape and the toroid are big deals. Yeah, these people are getting it. So much of our existence is based on sacred geometry. So God in its most basic forms, we get like love, light, sound / vibration, that sort of a thing. So when you're trying to create, universes, physical and non-physical, you need some sort of structure, some sort of framework for that to exist within. And that's where we get sacred geometry. Everything in its most basic form ends up basically being toroids, which, we're going to look up toroids and torsion fields. The spin that exists within everything, sacred geometry, torsion fields, toroids. Everything is sacred geometry. What? I'm not too laggy. All right. So we got the star tetrahedron, the Merkabah. I would argue that our aura, our energy field, ultimately, it's got this star tetrahedron. When I'm talking about the Merkabah, saying that many believe that is basically the energy body, the energy form of higher beings coming down. Like that's the vehicle, essentially, that they travel within to keep their energies within, because especially when you come down to somewhere dense like this wonderful planet that we live on, you got to contain your energy, or as we aren't ready for it. So some believe that the Merkabah is those energy orb kind of UFOs. They believe are more this sort of a thing, which I would agree. And then, of course, the star tetrahedron comes from more simple geometry, such as the Platonic solids. Yeah, we got the tetrahedron, cube, octahedron, icosahedron, and the dodecahedron. Back in the day, when you're in the mystery schools, you talk about Platonic solids, they kill your ass. What? They kill you talking about a cube? They kill your ass. This stuff is big deal. Like, you'd have to be in like the upper priesthood, the upper priest class to know this stuff. That's why they're so scared of us. That is why they are locking us down, bringing in their New World Order, because now all of us can know this stuff. I love all the people are, there's no way to know what's really going on. Yeah, in the past, I agree. You'd have to travel and occasionally find books if you're super lucky and just get a tiny bit of information. We have the internet now. If you don't understand what's going on, that is your fault and your fault alone. And pretending like no one can know, that's just laziness. Just laziness. It's like agnostics. There's probably something that exists out there that's kind of godlike. Maybe, probably, but I'm too fucking lazy to look into it. Cubes. D20s, playing some Dungeons and Dragons. They're not just shapes. They are the structures of creation. Then we get into things a little more complex. Flower of life, Who doesn't love the flower of life? You make a circle, and then you put what, 6 circles around it, and then 6 circles around each one of those, and you get the flower of life. A lot of these symbols are going to look different than each other. Ultimately, they are all the exact same symbols. Like, oh, here we go. Yeah, we get that spiral inside of it. There we go. We got stuff like that. Stuff like that. Ultimately, all of this sacred geometry is the exact same geometry. We are just seeing different aspects of it. Oh, what else is hiding in the flower of life? Oh, the tree of life. When people nowadays are saying something and it's the same thing the ancients were saying, probably something there. And then tree of life, that's, at least to the Kabbalists, it's pretty much the levels of creation. But then from there, it's so much. It's as above, so below. So it's not just creation and dimensions. It's also the hero's journey and stuff like that as well. And then, so if you take the bottom part of the tree of life, then spin it around, you get more sacred geometry. It's all connected. So it's not just some metaphor. It's not just some shape. Like, it's everything. The hero's journey isn't just in our fiction. It's in our lives. But it's not just in our lives. It's also how the galaxy unfolds and evolves. As above, so below. If something is happening to us, it's also happening to the levels below us. It's also happening with the levels above us. And that ultimately is what the Tree of Life is teaching us. Then we just get beautiful things like mandalas. Why do you think the Buddhists love creating all these wonderful mandalas? I love that they do the sand mandalas, spend a ton of time making these beautiful creations, which definitely hold some energy, definitely bring some light to the areas where they make them. And then when they finish them, they destroy them, because everything is temporary. You know, they're all about not worrying about possessions and having to hold on to everything. I'm going to have to agree with those guys. Then we move into more alien spiritual mandalas, and we got crop circles. They're just made by people. Yeah, I've seen the ones made by people. They look like garbage. They're the most just basic bitch things you could come up with. And then they're like, oh, well, these insanely advanced ones, those were just people with boards. No, they're not. You dumb. You so dumb. Ugh, you believe in aliens, you crazy conspiracy theorist. Yeah, you're the one wearing a mask in your car. Crop circles. Probably a lot of different things there are for. Some of them literally show how to make like anti-gravity engines. Yeah. What crop circle ship? It's hard to find the videos now. They're pretty gone, but please urge people to report crop circle damage. Of course, that would be our government. Oh, not mine, but yeah. And then, oh yeah, here's very flower of life. You know, some of these probably man-made. Others, no. There's it. I'm sorry, it's something else. These sometimes literally form and like people were there, they didn't see it. They come back in an hour and it's there. These people with boards, and then when they do it, like with the boards and stuff, it takes them forever. It's like, oh, people, they figured out how the pyramids were built. They rolled them on logs and stuff from super far away. Just Just because you figured out a way that something can and could have been done doesn't mean that's how it was done. It's literally just form. Just form. Something simple like this, yeah, okay. Yeah, I could see some people making it and stuff. But when we get into the more complex stuff that is just chock full of sacred geometry, I'm sorry. And then you got the big jellyfish one. This represents, if you ever looked at how our Earth and what magnetosphere and all that, when it's getting hit by the sun, how the energy comes off of it. Yeah, it's a jellyfish. And then you got these the rings with the circles, and then coming down to other circles and whatnot. This one itself, I believe, with the crop circle ship and stuff, like this literally, I believe it was this one, literally was predicting stuff. And there's got to be tons of different reasons for these. A lot of it's just, bringing light or energy to that area. A lot of it is, even though we don't understand the symbols, subconsciously we do. So it's like we basically like download the information, even though we don't consciously understand it. We see it, and a part of us understands it. Also, it's to get us to question, that sort of thing. Now let's get more into, I'm saying that, structure of creation is sacred geometry, cymatics. So you take some sand, you put it on a plate, then you vibrate that plate at certain frequencies. A lot of it is just noise, but when you get certain frequencies, shapes start to form. Shapes like this. And then as it goes, it kind of will just like, and then once it gets to that frequency, it just suddenly changes. Vibration, creating structure and form. Sound, creating physical existence. And then the Lord said, let there be light. Sound, light, love is very basis of creation. And yeah, here's just a few more examples. And then also here, I suppose I'm supposed to look up. Okay, so what's it? Cymatics, chakras. And then if you go from the frequencies and vibrations of the chakras, I was looking this up the other day. Okay, and then the heart chakra. They always tell you the heart shape is because it's a woman's butt bending over. The frequency of the heart chakra makes a heart shape. No, come on. But yeah, no, it's a butt. It's a butt. Then we got things like the Fibonacci sequence, where you basically just keep dividing stuff. And you get fun little spirals. And then all sorts of stuff in nature go off of these spirals. So the Nautilus shell being the best example. And then the Fibonacci sequence isn't just sunflowers. It affects music and stuff like that as well. What else does it affect? Oh, the human form. The Vitruvian man is the Fibonacci sequence. Sorry for showing you that donger. You take numbers and you plot the points. Let's make sure I mute this. Then, okay, yeah, you take all the numbers, they go like this. Oh, yeah, they go like this. Oh, yeah, numbers. Sorry, I can't be switching stuff. Yeah, you get all these. They go like that. But then you just do the prime numbers. And it may, yeah, okay, yes. So here's like how you would plot. And then ultimately, if you just do the prime numbers, you get spirals. Spirals that look like our galaxy. There's a reason when they sent something out into space with a bunch of information about us on it, or if we try to communicate with other intelligences, what's one of the ways we do that? What's one of the most basic ways to show that we're an intelligent species? Prime numbers. Now let's talk fractals. Who doesn't love going into infinity? Basically, you got the Mandelbrot set, the most basic fractal, and yeah, we've all seen the videos. You go into one part of it, it just keeps going, and then eventually it recreates itself, the original Mandelbrot set, and then keeps going and going and going and going and going, and it will just go on forever and ever and ever. The number never ever ends. It's similar to like pi, number that goes on to infinity. Universe, creation, existence. The Lord said, "Let there be light." Sound, which is vibration, which then also gets into frequency, electromagnetics, that sort of a thing. Light, and not just like God light, you have near-death experience and you see that like bright white tunnel. Not just that light. Also photons. Photons aren't just brightness. They don't just allow us to see things. Photons carry information. And then sacred geometry. Oh, that's what I was supposed to look up. Ultimately, the most sacred toroid. The most sacred of geometry is the toroid. There we go. So you take a donut, like what they're mostly showing in here, but then you also shoot the energy out the top and have it come in from the bottom. So you get that donut in the middle, but then that energy shoots up, goes around. Oh, actually, here's a really good example. Here's some good examples. And then goes around and then comes back in. So you got the little donut that creates the donut hole. Then there's the energy that goes up and comes from the bottom. That then goes around and creates a larger donut around it. The most basic form in geometry of our creation and existence, at least in our universe. You got to realize a lot of other places have different rules, but for us at least, it comes down to a donut. On today's episode, Erwin believes creation is a donut, and then that going up and that coming back around, that's what creates everything. That's what makes the spin, the gravity, the time, electromagnetics, and all that fun stuff. Ultimately, is a donut. We live in a crazy world, and we're going to lose it all if we don't stand up to the global elite bringing in their New World beast system. Prepare yourself and pray, because Lord knows we need it.